Ah, the Mushroom Kingdom. Now we just gotta find the castle. Oh hey, Mario. You wouldn't happen to know where the Mushroom Castle is, would you? Not much of a talker, I see. Forget that guy. He's kind of a jerk anyways. Let's go find some locals to talk to. Welcome back to the Artist Studio. Before we get into things, please consider heading over to patreon.com/theartists. I'm making this content for viewers like you, and it's viewers like Glenn who are keeping this content going. Thank you so much, Glenn. If you want to get weekly check-in episodes face-to-face with me, the artist, then get subscribed at patreon.com/theartists. While I have you, please click that subscribe button. It really makes a difference for early channels like mine. Now let's get back to the studio. In this week's episode, we're going to venture through the Mushroom Kingdom lands and build ourselves some companions to help us along the way. Now, I'll be honest with all of you. I'm a little lost after coming out from the other side of those warp pipes, so I'm going to need to get my grounding. I figure our best bet to find out where we need to go is through the help of a pokey. You know, one of those segmented cactus dudes with the spikes. I think using a bit of crafting magic, and employing the help from some real-life greenery, maybe we can get an intelligent answer from our friend once we're done crafting him. Like a Frosty the Snowman sort of situation.
Happy birthday!
For his body, I'm using dollar store styrofoam balls. And I had to start thinking about the weight of this flower pot on his head, so I needed to think about the Poke's spine and how he'd stay upright while supporting the small flower pot. So I used this wooden dowel, and then I cut it down to size, keeping in mind the pot will need some room in the top segment. I then made a base using a round piece of wood and a large steel nut to give some extra weight. And then used some quick drying resin to affix them all together. I then carved out the topmost styrofoam ball to make room for the pot. I found the easiest method was to just whittle out the foam with a skewer, just gradually until the pot fit nice and snug. To give the Pokey his fuzzy look, I covered the segmented parts in yellow felt. To do this, I made a template to divide the segments into 4 parts, that I could then cover the spheres with. If you want to make a spherical template for yourself, you'll just have to follow some geometry. First, find out the circumference of your sphere using a measuring tape. You'll then want to draw an eye shape that has the width of half of your circumference and the height of 1/4. Most importantly, the corners of the eyes must be right angles, as 4 of these corners meet to fill a complete circle. This is felt I'm using, so there's certainly some wiggle room if my measurements aren't perfect. To apply the felt to the styrofoam, I'm using double-sided tape. ran out of this red-backed roll, so I had to get some Gorilla Tape. It's a bit thicker, but it'll certainly do the trick. Once I covered each sphere, I cut off the extra felt, then used these extra bits to cover the seams. I've never done needle felting, but this is the general principle, I think. I've only ever seen this being done by other artists, but I figured this would be a nice time to experiment with some technique. Though, I admit, I'm truly bastardizing the art by making the body out of styrofoam. But hey, I just need to borrow this technique to get the right look. If you want to see what real needle felting looks like, go check out our needle felting over on Reddit. While you're over there, you can check out all the other things I've been up to over on Reddit. I'm often posting and interacting with smaller artist communities over there, so don't be shy and come say hi. Next up, Pokey's going to need to get a bit more pokey. I made these larger thorns from pipe cleaners by coiling two together. I then poked the thorns into place with a skewer. For his face, I cut out the mouth and eyes, and then used some black pipe cleaners to line the edges. To get that sunken eye look that these guys are known for, I'm leaving the white of the styrofoam revealed, and then using a touch of hot glue to affix the eyes in place. Lastly, I added a crown around the rim of the pot to give the Pokey a more natural look. For this, I used a small amount of superglue to affix the felts together. I only used a little bit, and relied mostly on needle felting to keep these parts attached. And with that, the Pokey is done. So, welcome to the world. You wouldn't happen to know how to get to the Mushroom Castle, would you? No answer, huh? You're not much of a talker either, it seems. You are okay though, right? Oh, good. Well, you just seem very introspective. I've been there. I may have just made him a bit too smart with that aeonium in his cranium. Maybe we'll have better luck with some larger numbers. I had an idea with these leftover thorns from the Pokey. I want to use this red bead as the mouth of a fuzzy. If you're not familiar with a fuzzy, they're the black, sometimes electric little fuzzballs that often run along tracks. So with a few extra pipe cleaners and a couple white beads will become the teeth, I can get this sort of shape going. There's no wrong answer here. I'm just forming the body to the shape that feels right. Which leaves the eyes. I found these googly eyes at the dollar store, and they're just perfect for the fuzzy's eyes. I'm then using a touch of superglue to affix the eyes to the pipe cleaner, but not before a light sanding on the back to give the glue a bit more to grip onto. The thorns then act as a sporadic active arm to the fuzzy. And to fill out the body of the fuzzy, I cut out some black felt in these pointy shapes. I then wove the felt pieces between the arms, gluing them down with a bit more superglue. Alright, you guys, you wouldn't happen to know where the Mushroom Castle is. Hey guys, I don't mean to... You three don't seem very friendly, do you? I'm sorry, what did you say? You know that's a double negative, right? Well, seems these three won't be any help. You know what? I'm giving this guy a more appropriate mouth. And eyes. Okay, so if those guys won't help us, we'll need to get the assistance of the most renowned baddie in town. Seeing as they're always the first ones to encounter Mario, they must know something about the Mushroom Castle. So, to make my own Goomba, we'll need 4 parts: a head, a body, and 2 feet. I think I'll make them all primarily from styrofoam balls, and form them together with pipe cleaners, sort of a mix of the last 2 baddies wrapped up in one. My goal is to have this guy posable in the end, so, you know, he can walk us to the castle? I don't know, I'm really losing the plot here on this whole baddies episode. I just thought it'd be super cute if he could stand on his own, but also maybe sit and hang out with me in the studio. I swear I have friends. See, I made one this afternoon. He's quiet, but you'd consider us friends, right? Yes. What about you guys, want to be my friends? Well, that's 1 for 4. Let's see if I can make it 2. So after carving the shape of the mushroom head, I'm going to cover the outside of the ball with pipe cleaners to give the body some extra strength, but more importantly, the pipe cleaners will give me a material I can glue to. Just a reminder and a mini experiment here for those who have never seen what happens to styrofoam and superglue. This is just a tiny dot of glue that I'll add to the tip of the styrofoam ball. As you can see, the super glue quickly eats away at the styrofoam, and there's no coming back from this. So to protect myself from disintegrating the entire Goomba, I'm using the pipe cleaners to protect the styrofoam, but on top of that, the pipe cleaners become an excellent armature to attach the Goomba's segments. I saw these colors and knew the Goomba was in there somewhere. I'll just need to sort these colors out. And then start gluing. When I was gluing down, I kept the similar tones grouped together and layered the wool down in spiraling waveforms until the whole head was covered. For the body, I just kept spiraling downwards until I had wrapped the ankles once. The feet I decided to leave as pipe cleaners, and only bottomed them with a bit of black felt. To get him to talk, we'll need to add his mouth. For that, I'm just using a small pipe cleaner and gluing it into place. For his teeth, I use the ends of a plastic fork. And once again, googly eyes for his eyes. And of course, he wouldn't be complete without his eyebrows to finish off that Goomba scowl. And there we have it. So, Mr. Goomba, would you happen to know where the Mushroom Castle is? Nope. Would you know someone who does? Nope. Do you say anything other than nope? Really? Also, you say more than nope. Alright, I'm moving on. I think I see the problem here. I keep making these craft baddies, but I keep asking them about a place that, as far as I know, only has a digital counterpart. Though these guys do have me thinking about a certain paper universe. I think it's time to call in the big guns.
To the extreme.
There, that seemed to work nicely. Mr. Bowser, sir, it's a pleasure to meet you. I was hoping you could help me get to the Mushroom Castle. A job? Well, I was sort of trying to get somewhere, but... well, I'm not in any position to deny a job. I guess I can help you out with something.